Hey guys, well, it has now been about 5 months since I moved back to Florida, and in that time I have been living what I like to call the housewife life, which basically means that I do not work a full-time job and my husband does. I don't have any kids, not a stay-at-home mom, a housewife. It has been a really interesting path getting here and like living through this experience. So I was working in Alabama. My husband was living in Florida, and we have never lived in the same city in the past like 10 years of us dating on and off. When he asked me to get married, then obviously we had to like think through a plan of how we were going to get to the same city. And we did actually seriously consider both options, you know, both him moving to Alabama and me moving to Florida, because I was working a job that I will say was the best job that I had had in my career up to that point. Not a perfect job, but I had really worked up to that job and I was in a pretty good place. So giving it up wasn't just like a no-brainer. You know, we really talked through, you know, should I stay on the job and him quit and come up there? But at the end of the day, financially, it made more sense for me to quit and come down. And so that's what we decided on.
We're going to miss you so much. She's getting married. She is moving to Florida.
So what is my basic day like? Let's start there. My husband wakes up usually between 5:30 and 6:30 in the morning. And yes, I do wake up with him. I know, it's so hard. But I do wake up with him. I make his breakfast, and then I pack his lunch while he's getting ready. And we'll generally sit together while he eats. I don't eat that early because I go back to bed. And I usually sleep until about 8 o'clock. It is now like a little after 8 a.m. And this is my true wake up time. Immediately call my parents when I wake up. We're really close. We'll FaceTime almost every morning. And then after I get off the phone with my parents, I'll usually go work out. On the way to the gym. So we actually have an in-home or in-apartment gym that's really nice. And so I'll spend a lot of time there. It's really convenient. But then I also recently joined a nearby gym, a gym that's really close to our apartment complex, just because I'm trying to socialize more. And it's hard to meet new friends if you never leave your apartment building. After I work out, I generally will come back upstairs and cook breakfast, cook myself something to eat, and then it's one of my favorite parts of the day. I have coffee talk with one of my best friends. I call her a housewife too, although she really isn't. She works part-time and she's a PhD candidate. But she does have a lot of free time during the day, like I do. And so we'll usually chat in the mornings, FaceTime in the mornings, gossip a little bit. And after I talk to her, I will do some work. So although I don't work full-time, I work part-time for a company that I co-own. It's called Modern Mold Agency. It's a boutique branding firm that specializes in public relations, visual branding, and image consulting. And I co-own it with two other women. All of us live in different cities at this point, but we do work remotely for our clients, which are mostly based in Atlanta and Birmingham. So I'll do a little bit of work for them in the morning, some social media management work in the morning, and then throughout the day, I'll do a variety of things for our clients. One of those includes voiceover work. And I'm so lucky to have a free recording studio just down the street from our apartment. It's in the library. I go there very often to record voiceovers for one of our clients that we have right now. Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Also during the day, I will run a lot of errands. I go grocery shopping usually on Mondays. I will pop by the mall sometimes, Target. I will start cooking dinner at around 5 or 5:30 in the evening. I usually cook about 2 to 3 times a week, just depends. And Steve usually gets home at around 6:37. So that's like a normal day in the housewife life. So how has it been? I kind of think of it in two ways. First is the career side. I was really dedicated to a career in broadcast journalism for 10 years, and I really fought for that career.
Every neighbor I spoke with today said they are ready to move.
And I started in a small market making $20,000 a year, and I really worked my way up in the television news industry. And I was proud of myself for that. So giving it up has been hard. And I've actually found myself mourning it in a lot of ways. Sometimes I'm really sad that I don't work in TV news anymore. But I had to sit down with myself and say, am I sad because I miss the work? Or am I sad because I miss the idea of being a television journalist? And at this point, I think I've come to the decision that it's the latter. And so I'm trying not to work off of that emotion. So I am enjoying working with Modern World. I'm really enjoying being a part of the company right now, because I'm able to give it more attention than I was when I was working. And I also am just trying to sit with myself and figure out what I want to do personally too. The other side of all of this is, I think perception is maybe the best word to use. I have received the narrative, I would say, for the majority of my life, that women should be independent, and that domestic duties in the household should be split between men and women. And neither of those things are true for me right now. So, I am not financially independent. I'm just not. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but I'm telling you what my reality is. And that is sometimes frightening. The domestic side of things it's hard to get used to. I feel like it's more about me thinking about what society thinks about what I do versus me actually being bothered by it. Just having to walk through the logic of it all and saying, okay, like, society's opinions aside, there are two people who are living in the house. One of them goes out every day and earns money. Doesn't it just make sense that the person who stays in the house should do the housework? I just remind myself, like, you can't judge yourself based off of anyone else. This is the setup that you guys have. It's actually working for you. And I can't worry about, feeling I'm setting myself back, or something along those lines. Like, it works and it's working, and I'm not going to fight it, And I just honestly feel so lucky to be in this situation that I'm in, and the fact that I have a partner who has said, listen, figure out what you want to do, figure out what makes you happy. So we also are buying a house, are in the process of searching for a house, and we feel like we're really close. And when we close, if we close on this, it's taking forever, guys. When we close, I'm going to do a post on that, because I feel like our experience is not necessarily unique, but we have learned some things along the way that I kind of want to share with people. Look for that if it ever closes. Stay tuned for that. See you guys.